Okay, everybody ready? Good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 12th, 2018 meeting of the Rotterdam Town Board. This evening we entered our agenda review at approximately 5:45 p.m. Went through our agenda, and then at approximately 6:17 p.m. with a motion by Mr. Christou and a second by Mr. Guidarelli, we entered into executive session to discuss three different items, two of which we added to the executive session agenda. So first we added employee grievance 11/14/2018 to the executive session agenda, and also employment history of employee number 12/12/2018, as well as discussion about the collective bargaining clause in our CSEA Article 15 of our contract, hospitalization, dental, and optical. All voted in favor to enter executive session at approximately 6:57 p.m. We exited executive session with a motion by Mr. Christou and a second by Mr. Guidarelli, with all voting in favor to exit executive session. Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Present.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Present.
Mrs. Miller-Herrera?
Present.
Mr. Signor?
Present.
Mr. Tomaso?
Present.
5 present.
Shall please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Mr. Marcello, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So it's my pleasure at this point of the meeting to turn it over to our Highway Superintendent, Larry Lamora. Mr. Lamora has a presentation to make, and Larry?
Yes, thank you, Town Board. Can I have Donna Larson, please? Donna Larson? Surprise. Tomorrow's gonna be a little tough for me at work, I think. Well, I have this for you. This is called Mother of the Highway for Donna Larson. We are here today to express our appreciation to Donna Larson and to honor her for her distinguished 17-year career with the town of Rotterdam Highway Department. And whereas Donna began her career as an account clerk at the Highway Department on January 22nd, 2001, and whereas Donna retired from full-time employment on March 30th, 2013. Whereas Donna was appointed by the town board to part-time employment from April 1st, 2013 through the end of 2018. And whereas during her 17 years as support to the highway department, Donna was instrumental in keeping the highway department running efficiently. Whereas Donna has always been there for the employees of the department, she has continuously been available to lend an ear and guide any employee that asked her for help. Donna was instrumental in helping the now highway superintendent transition and from the previous administration. She has always been willing to assist and offer her insight in any situation, and whereas on behalf of the entire highway department, I want to express my sincere appreciation to Donna for her loyalty to the town of Rotterdam over the past 17 years, and wish her much happiness as she begins the next chapter in her life. Now therefore, I, Larry Lamora, Highway Superintendent of the town of Rotterdam, do hereby present you with this Mother of the Highway plaque and urge all residents and employees to join me in congratulating Donna on an outstanding career with the town of Rotterdam and expressing our sincere appreciation to her for her unwavering dedication and service to the town of Rotterdam Highway Department. We wish her many years of happiness and good health.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, at this time, we have a public comment privilege of the floor. Ms. Marco. Do they get it? Okay. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're the only one, you're right. Jack Dotson.
Good evening, Jack Dotson, this is 1311 Cipriana Terrace. I have one item on my agenda, and that item pertains to the seeker negative deck that is included in the packet that was online tonight. I guess it's been online for a couple days. Regarding the definition of hospital and the change of zone. As you guys are aware, I've spoken regarding this topic several times at both the Planning Commission meeting and at the board meeting. Again, I don't know if you guys have looked at your packet to see what's in there for this, but I'd just like to bring to your attention, again, it's kind of arbitrary, it's incomplete, and it doesn't even reflect the reality of what you guys are trying to do. And it looks like to me it's kind of just rubber stamped and quickly gone over to suit the purpose. If you look at part one of the short environmental assessment form, there's one checkbox, the rest of it's not even filled out. You know, if I go to part two, obviously it's all, there's no impact. And then part three, which talks about the determination of significance, nothing relevant to the topic. And as you know, I did speak at the last my public hearing for this, talking about, again, the impacts that we might see by having these facilities in the town. They're all in easy areas along our corridors that someone could actually go in and fill this thing out to reflect actually what's going to happen. So, again, this doesn't do any justice or service to anyone, and it certainly doesn't meet the standard that I think the town sets relative to outside consultants coming in here or outside developers coming in there where there's an expectation that this will be done properly and to the letter of the law, and I just think we fell short here. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else, Ms. Marco?
That's it.
Okay. Let's move into the resolutions. Resolution 32118, please.
Adopt the meeting minutes from the November 14th, 2018 Town Board meeting.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Guidarelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32118 passes. Resolution 32218.
The Town Board of the Town of Rotterdam acknowledges the appointment of Jody Binkley to the position of First Deputy Town Clerk and hereby appoints Jody Binkley of Rotterdam, New York to the position of Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics and Deputy Marriage Officer for the Town of Rotterdam.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Guidarelli or Mr. Signor? Mr. Guidarelli? Okay.
It's up to Steve.
Well, Steve looked at you. He looked at you. Okay,
I'll
so-
second.
Who seconded?
Joe did.
He's saying Samantha, you're saying.
Christou and Mr. Guidarelli.
All right.
Okay. Okay, anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, is Jody here?
No,
Chance?
she's not.
here. Well, welcome Jody on January 1st. Resolution 32318.
Appoint Wayne Calder as a member of the Town of Rotterdam Planning Commission.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Guidarelli, second by Ms. Miller Herrera.
Yes.
Anyone on the question? I would just first like to say that I've known Wayne for many years, and Wayne will be replacing on the Planning Commission Tim Brock. And Tim has given invaluable years' worth of service to the town, and I want to thank him for his service and welcome Wayne, but only after the vote. So we have a motion by Mr. Guidarelli and a second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
A very enthusiastic yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32318 passes. Wayne is here. I'd like to just welcome you. And, thank you. Okay, resolution 32418.
Reappoint John Denny of Rotterdam, New York to the position of Chair of the Town of Rotterdam Planning Commission for a one-year term commencing January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Signor, second, please.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Christou. Are there any questions? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32418 passes. Resolution 32518.
Reappoint Philip Eats of Rotterdam, New York to the position of Chair of the Town of Rotterdam Zoning Board of Appeals for a one-year term commencing January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32518 passes. Resolution 32618.
Appoint and reappoint individuals as a member of the Town of Rotterdam Conservation Advisory Council.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Signor. Is there a second, please?
second.
Second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Anyone on the question? I'd just like to, I won't do this for every resolution, but just for a few here, just let everyone know that the people that we're reappointing are James Schaefer, Bruce Bonnequist, and Ian Jaster to serve for a 2-year term. Okay. Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32618 passes. Resolution 32718.
Appoint and reappoint individuals as a member of the Town of Rotterdam Parks and Recreation Committee.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Okay, motion by Ms. Miller Herrera. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, and on the question, we are reappointing or appointing Paul Cook, Rosalind Warlick, and Andrea Coppola to the Parks and Rec Committee for a 2-year term. Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32718 passes. Resolution 32818.
Appoint individuals as members of the Town of Rotterdam Steering Committee.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Ms. Miller Herrera. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Signor. Anyone on the question? Okay, I'd also like to just let everyone know that the following individuals are reappointed as members of the Town of Rotterdam Steering Committee. Jonathan Tingley, David All, Kathleen Curtis, Mylan Jackson, and James Trigger. Okay. Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32818 passes. Resolution 32918.
Appoint and reappoint individuals to the Town of Rotterdam Emergency Medical Board. Appoint Town Council Member Stephen Signor as chairperson and appoint Deputy Chief Michael Brown as recording secretary.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Gitterelli. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Okay, besides joining Councilman Signor and will be Councilman Gitterelli, and besides Deputy Chief Mike Brown as recording secretary, other members will be Sergeant Keith Collins, Robert Phillip, Dean Romano from our Rotterdam EMS, Mark D'Alessandro, and Jeff Seeley, who are citizen appointments to that board. Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 32918 passes. Resolution 33018.
Appoint John J. Woodward of Rotterdam, New York to the position of town historian, part-time with no employee benefits with an annual stipend of $500.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Signor. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 33018 passes, and our retiring county clerk continues to be our town historian here for Rotterdam. Resolution 33118.
Authorize payment to all elected officials, appointed officials, annually rated permanent employees, and hourly rated employees for the year 2019.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Resolution 33118 passes. Resolution 33218.
Adopt all town meeting dates for the Town of Rotterdam 2019 meeting schedule.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Just on the question, I would just like to make the public aware that we anticipate beginning the process, I should say, of updating our comprehensive plan in 2019. And right now, according to the schedule, our first meeting for our comprehensive plan committee, which we will appoint sometime early next year, will be April 11th, which is a Thursday evening at 6:30. We also let me finish on that topic. And the reason for that forwarding to April is simply that we are finalizing an RFP to put out so that we can hire an engineering firm to assist us in the update of the comprehensive plan. Also, we are working, and we will have a 2020 celebration committee. Our first meeting will be on January 16th. January 17th, which is a Thursday night. What I would ask you to consider there is the first meeting will very likely be, if we don't have all the members at the January 9th meeting, at our board meeting appointed, we will still hold that meeting regardless, but that will be the beginnings of getting us started on our 200th anniversary celebrations in 2020. And one of the things that we will be doing next year, according to the challenge, we've talked about this a couple different, a couple meetings in the past, a tug of war between the towns of Glenville and Rotterdam across the Mohawk. We still been a big contention here in the town that we actually won that tug of war, but there was something that happened on the Glenville side we won't talk about right now.
Have we thought about bringing in a trainer to help us prepare for that and work on
I knew that was coming at some point.
We
But
should
it had to be
maybe have a
tonight.
resolution
You
on
had-
here
you had
to
to go
fund a
there.
trainer to come
You
in.
had to go there tonight.
We could do burpees while we're doing our agenda session.
So there's a potential for that, I guess. Something you can think about yourselves if you like. So we do have, we have tentatively in July, we will hopefully have our first tug of war with Glenville, which will be our trial run, and then we'll have the real challenge in 2020, sometime in July of 2020. And we don't have all the details yet of what that's going to be, how many people on each side, all those kinds of things, but we'll get those details out sometime this year, early this year. Okay. Ms. Marco, would you call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Resolution 33218 passes. Resolution 33318.
Adopt the negative declaration dated December 5th, 2018 to amend town code to modify existing definition of hospital at hospital/healthcare facilities and care homes as a special use in the B1 retail business zoning district and permitted uses in the B2 general business zoning district, and remove care homes from R1 single-family residential zoning district.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Signor. Anyone on the question? Regarding the question, if anyone would like to look at this secret document, the questions that are answered are the appropriate questions that are to be answered for this particular change. And The other questions really pertain more to a specific action on a project. That's why those questions are not answered on the form. But if anyone would like to see that, we have those available. So motion by Mr. Christou, a second by Mr. Signor. Anyone else on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 33318 passes. Resolution 33418.
Adopt local law number 11 of the year 2018 for the following purpose. To amend Chapter 270 zoning, Section 270-5, definitions for the term hospital. To amend Chapter 270 zoning, Section 270-56, special uses to include hospitals, health care facilities, and care homes, as defined under Section 270-5, definitions as a special use in the B1 Retail Business District. To amend Chapter 270 zoning, Section 270-64, permitted uses to include hospitals, health care facilities, and care homes as defined under Section 270-5, definitions as a permitted use in the B2 General Business District. To remove Chapter 270 zoning, Section 270-28C, special uses. Public hearing was called for at the Town Board meeting of October 24th, 2018. The public hearing was held at the Town Board meeting of November 14th, 2018.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question?
No, just Mr. Supervisor, this not only was a necessity for any potential projects, but there's also a housekeeping issue regarding a current facility.
Yes.
As well, correct?
That's correct. Okay. Anyone else on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 33418 passes. Resolution 33518.
Adopt local law number 12 of the year 2018 for the following purpose. To amend Chapter 72, alcoholic beverages, to include Section 72-3, penalties for offense. Public hearing was called for at the Town Board meeting of October 24th, 2018. Public hearing was held at the Town Board meeting of November 14th, 2018.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Signor. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 33518 passes. Resolution 33618.
Declare the Town Board as lead agency and authorize the Town Planner to prepare, file, publish, and distribute all documents necessary to comply with the NYCRR Part 617 and State Environmental Quality Review relative to the proposed local law referenced in Resolution 337.18.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou, second, please.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 33618 passes. Resolution 33718.
Call for a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, January 9th, 2019, at the John F. Kirvin Government Center, Town Hall, 1100 Sunrise Boulevard, Rotterdam, New York, 12306, upon adoption of a proposed local law of the year 2019 for the following purpose. To allow for a change of zone request for Sapone Group Management LLC as designee contact for Edward K. Kaufman for a property located at 2142 Hamburg Street, Rotterdam, New York, 12303, and is known as tax map number 59.7-8-10.11. The applicant is requesting a change of zone from a B1 retail business to a I1 light industrial for the construction of the self-storage units.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasson?
Yes.
5 yes.
Resolution 33718 passes. Resolution 33818.
Authorize the supervisor to execute and change orders with Brunswick Electric located at 290 Hoosick Street, Troy, New York, 12180, and Carver Construction Incorporated, located at 494 Western Turnpike, Altamont, New York, 12009, for time extension due to issues with the VFD preventing wiring of the pump from occurring and other construction-related issues.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christou, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Signor. Just took me a second. Okay, anyone in the question?
Mr. Dodson, what is a VFD again?
Variable frequency drive.
What is it, Darren?
Variable frequency drive. And what it is, looks like this. Something you can't see, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's part of the SCADA system. It involves the SCADA system. And that's what I recall. I didn't remember the rest of the term. So, it's an important, it's an important item for the fifth well that we're putting in at the water plant.
Very important.
So it did not stand for Volunteer Fire Department, as someone else asked that earlier. So it had to do with an electronic piece of equipment that's necessary for the operation of our well. So, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Resolution 33818 passes. Resolution 33918.
Authorize the supervisor to enter an agreement with the County of Schenectady located at 620 State Street, Schenectady, New York, 12305, to cooperate and collaborate with the installation of 2 fixed license plate readers, LPR, within the town of Rotterdam.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Signor, second by Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, yes, okay. Anyone on the question?
Well, just I'm glad that we were able to put the LPR in there so nobody knew exactly what the initials were, I suppose, of VFD, sorry.
Okay, all right,
We'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
we will,
Okay.
okay. So, Ms. Marco, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Resolution 33918 passes. Resolution 34018.
A resolution supporting the former employees of St. Clair's Hospital during their ongoing pension crisis.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gitterelli, is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? On the question, we are adopting the very similar language, almost identical language to what the county recently adopted. And we will be forwarding copies of our resolution to members of the Assembly, the Senate, and Governor, and the Catholic Diocese of Albany, Governor Cuomo, Senator Tedesco, Senator Amador, Assemblyman Santa Barbara, Assemblyman Steck, and Assemblywoman Beth Walsh.
And this has to do with 1,100 former St. Clair employees who got a notice from the diocese saying, guess what, we're not going to pay your pension benefits anymore.
Well, there's a lot involved here, but the overall issue that we were asked to support by many members of our community who are former St. Clair's employees is that there has to be some work done here by hopefully collaboration between the diocese and the state to resolve this crisis for them. So that's where we are with that. So I appreciate the motions. Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, Resolution 34018 passes. Now, we have consent items which are 34118 through 36218.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt consent items 34118, 34218, 34318, 34418, 34518, 34618, 34718, 34818, 349, 350, 351, 352, 353, 354, 355, 356, 357, 358, 359, 360, and 361 as a consent agenda. And 362 as a consent agenda.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on any of those resolutions? So just I'd just like to point out a few for everyone. Most of these are items that we would ordinarily vote on January 1st, since we do not, we're breaking from tradition here in Rotterdam. We typically would have a meeting on January 1st as an organizational meeting. Other municipalities don't, they vary their organizational meetings different times, the first couple of weeks of January. Because we don't have anyone to swear in, we do not have new elected officials coming in on January 1. We're having our organizational meeting, if you will, and conducting other business on January 9th. So we had put out, over the last couple of months, a series of RFPs and so on for things that we needed to get accomplished in 2019. The usual things that you see is the police vehicle maintenance, dry cleaning services, car washing services for police vehicles. Also, hiring an engineer for our stormwater services and reporting. We annually engage with CT Mail to assist with our gas monitoring at our closed municipal solid waste landfill in Rotterdam Junction, or Pattersonville, between Rotterdam Junction and Pattersonville, if you will, on Radix Corners Road. We have different people that we appoint for different positions, some part-time, some seasonal. We also have a couple of people that we have had employed by the zoning board, or working with the zoning board and planning commission to transcribe the minutes of those meetings. The renewal of our health insurance for our employees. And on the couple of the bigger ones here, we're engaging with CT Mail to assist in architectural design and construction administration and bid administration for the exhaustive work that needs to be completed at our senior center on Hamburg Street. We're hopeful to get some final numbers for our insurance, and we still have more to do there. Also engaging with Barton and LaJudas to assist us with the engineering and creation of our salt shed, compost transfer facility, and highway garage on Campbell Road. And those are really the highlights of some of the resolutions that we're voting on as a consent. So we have a motion. A motion, please, for consent.
Evan
Was
made
made by Evan, and we have a second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Okay. Anyone else on the questions? 341 through 362. Okay, Ms. Mark, would you call the roll?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolutions 341 through 362 pass. Okay, are there any other items of business here, committee reports? Happy holidays wishes.
Along that lines, I'd like to. All right, thank you. I just wanted to say this is our last meeting until after the first of the year, and this is coming to the close of my first year on this board, and how much, I couldn't put in words how much fun I've actually had. It's actually been fun for me when people ask me, how's everything going? I tell them that I'm actually having a very good time, so I'm privileged to say that after almost the first year of being on the board that I'm really honored to be up here, thanking the people who supported me first during the campaign and have supported me during my first year. And I'm also very privileged and honored to be serving with some really, really great people that are on this board. I couldn't find a better group of people that are here to serve our community, and I want to wish them, my fellow board members, and the people of Rotterdam a happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I concur. Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Mr. Supervisor, I'm
Sure.
not sure, did we ever make the announcement on the business page of the website?
No, not publicly like this, no, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so we've been working on the town's website, trying to get it up to date, bringing the technology on it a little more forward. So we have recently updated our business listing page for the website. So we actually have it open to the public, so businesses that are located in the town of Rotterdam can take it upon themselves to go to the website and submit their business and some information that's requested. So that's pretty much it. It's open, it's live right now.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you all for a great year, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy
Supervisor,
Holidays.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Mr. Christou to adjourn. Is there a second, please?
Second?
Second by Mr. Signor to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you very much for attending our meeting. We're closed.